to my channel. This week we have our final Game of Thrones character breakdown, and the final character is Eliana Lannister. Yes, I went there. I created a Lannister. I feel like there are three types of characters people tend to create, either a Lannister, a Targaryen, or a Stark, and hey, look, I've covered all three bases. But that's okay. So, Eliana Lannister. Again, I'm going to point you in the direction of Emarella's video for the confusing description of what Game of Thrones is, because my brain hurts enough today. When I decided to create Eliana, I knew she'd be Jaime's daughter, but not Cersei's. I wanted something from the very start that took Jaime away from Cersei, something that pulled him free of her claws before the end of season 7. And that's where Eliana came in. She's Jaime's world. In his eyes, she's the one thing he's done right in his life, even if she wasn't planned. I also knew she wasn't going to be left unmarred by Cersei. And to create that, I touched a subject I tend to avoid, but we'll talk more on that later. Sitting down to create Eliana was a lot different than Mariah and Amarella, simply because she's from the South. And that meant a whole different realm of Westeros that I hadn't really done a lot of research in before. There was, no Children of the Forest, no Druid powers, no dire wolves. But that doesn't mean she wasn't unique to the world that she's from. Eliana is very intuitive and empathic. She has a way of reaching people that could almost be seen as like a magical touch, simply because she can get through to different people in ways no one else can. She can, to an extent, get Joffrey to see reason. She can make him realize the consequences of his actions, even if it's not until after he's committed the actions. Currently where I am, she's become sort of Joffrey's confidant within the small council. She's there in the way Joffrey worded it. He needs her to, or he asked her to help him not to make grave mistakes, like after he had all of his father's bastards killed. She called him on it, and he requested that she be his counsel and help him not to do that again. And it's definitely, I mean, he's still the harsh little sadistic bastard we all know and hate, but with Eliana, he is a little bit more human. Like with Mariah and Amarella, Eliana was completely planned out before I started writing. And because I was in a new region of Westeros, I had research to do. I had to dig into the Lannisters. I had to find out a bit more of the daily to-dos of King's Landing. All of the other stuff that I really hadn't touched on with my other characters. I mean, with Amarella, she does spend 4-5 seasons in King's Landing, but she's not really part of the everyday process, whereas Eliana, because she's so close to Joffrey, she is a bit more involved in everything that's going on. And I needed to look into the different creatures of Westeros. And I'm sure you're curious on why that is, but with Eliana, I wanted her to have that same kind of companionship that Mariah and Amarella found with their direwolves, but obviously she's from the South. She's not going to have a direwolf. So I looked into other creatures that could possibly provide the same companionship and protection that Nemeo and Wisp do. As we all know, Tyrion, when he's in the company of lovely Lady Stark, travels through the Eyrie and the mountains there, and we know one of the creatures indigenous there are shadowcats. I decided to take a whack at playing around with shadowcats and see what I could do. Like direwolves, obviously they're wild creatures, but with direwolves we saw they could be domesticated. I decided to try the same thing with a shadowcat for Eliana, and the way I worked that in is after Tyrion and Bronn leave the Eyrie, they come across a dead adult shadowcat who died defending her cub from the mountain tribes, and Instead of letting Bronn kill the cub, Tyrion brings it back to King's Landing for Eliana. In Game of Thrones, my brain has become very insistent on including some kind of animal element because, you know, like I said, I got Wisp and Nemeo for Amarella and Mariah, and I really wanted to keep that kind of element in with Eliana, so I went with a shadow cat, and yeah, Silverwing's pretty awesome. Easiest part of writing Amarella, hands down, is her relationship with Tyrion. All my life, I've had uncles I absolutely adore. My mom's brothers, my dad's younger brother, even great uncles. I absolutely love them. And they're really some of the most amazing men I've met. Just the way they live their lives, what they do and everything. They're awesome. And they did, along with the rest of my family, obviously, help shape me a lot into who I am. So when it came to Amarella and Tyrion, I wanted to take that closeness and that familial love and give it to them. Tyrion absolutely adores Eliana. There's nothing he won't do for her. He is extremely protective of her, loving, caring, you know. He's her best friend and her uncle rolled into one person. And he is one of the few men she truly trusts. She knows he would never hurt her. He would never raise a hand to her. He would never do anything. It's a wonderful relationship, and much like Amarella's relationship with Tyrion, I look forward to every scene I can write with Eliana and Tyrion. Eliana's damaged past is the hardest part of writing her, for me. When the show starts, she's 14, and 2 years previously, she was attacked and raped by 2 unknown men hired by Cersei. I know, that sounds horrible, but let's remember everything that woman has done in the span of 7 seasons so far. It's hard for me to write this because I was always been anxious and uneasy about the subject of rape, as I'm sure many people are, and we all have our reasons for being so, but I wanted a truly life-changing event for her that she would be able to work her way through during the show. I also wanted something so drastic, almost. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. I just wanted Cersei to cross such a big line that there is no way Jaime would have considered ever going back to her. And I pretty much hit that nail on the head and then beat it violently into the ground. Make no mistake, I know it's not a laughing matter, but I think you've all picked up by now, laughter makes me less uncomfortable. I haven't written a lot for Eliana yet. I'm still, like I said, I'm still in the early seasons. I'm still in season 2. But the ease in which she gets along with certain men in her life is got to be the best memory of writing her. There are very few men she trusts after what happened to her, and those that she does are people she truly treasures. Tyrion, Sir Barristan, Ned, her father, her grandfather, and Robert Baratheon are the men who have stuck with her, know what she's gone through, and while they're, I don't want to say cautious around her, they're understanding around her, but they don't treat her differently because of that. She's just a normal girl with a sharp wit and a sassy smirk. That is how I describe Eliana. I don't have a worst memory yet for Eliana, but I know once I sit down and actually write out her past in full, that's going to take the cake. I am actually encroaching on the time when I do need to sit down and write that because she confides in someone about it, and obviously I've written hard pasts before, but stepping into this subject, which is something I've never written before, is going to take a lot out of me, and I know I'm going to have to like mentally prepare myself to write it, but I am looking forward to the challenge of writing it. After all, to become a better writer is to press through the hard parts and to always challenge yourself. Eliana started as Jaime's way out, as his way of having a life that didn't revolve around what Cersei wanted. And now, even 2 seasons in, she's become a real player among the powers within Westeros, simply because of her lack of fear when it comes to Cersei, the relationship she has with Joffrey, the relationship she has with Tyrion is just a lot of factors have built her into such a powerful player within King's Landing. And I honestly can't wait to see where all of this takes her. I mean, I've got her future planned out. You know, I know where she's going to be during each season, but it's going to be interesting to see just how much she changes things as she goes. And that is our character breakdown for Eliana Lannister. Again, almost I keep wanting to call her Stark. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. If you're looking forward to me posting works for her. Remember, none of my Game of Thrones characters have anything posted, and they won't until next year when the show comes to an end. Hopefully I'll have caught up with Eliana by then. Don't hold your breath. The only one I'm up to date with is Emerald, and that's because I write her as the episodes premiere. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of her, if you're looking forward to me posting her work. Let me know what your favorite non-human character, or non-human character is from the show, or from the books. All depends on your preferences. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also turn on the little notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload. My social media handles are all down in the description below, along with my blog if you want to read the post that goes along with this video. And I will see you guys in next week's video.